Hello there guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Matt and today I'm going to be showing you the start of a new project that I'm working on, which is day one of building a shepherd's hut. And I've got all the materials here that I need to make the hut behind me for the external structure. If you don't know what a shepherd's hut is, it's basically a timber frame sort of building that's usually made from oak or steel. I'm going to have a steel chassis with big steel wheels on the outside of it, and also a timber frame and a corrugated steel roof. And they kind of look like gypsy huts or a sort of Smith & Wesson wagon you might see in a movie being dragged by a horse. But they're basically designed for shepherds to sleep in, or they were designed for shepherds to sleep in when they were working out in the field and stay there for many days looking after their sheep. But this is going to be a much more modern version, and I'm going to be basically turning it into an Airbnb property. But yeah, I thought I'd document the process. I thought you guys might be interested because this is going to be a much more modern version. It's going to have 100mm of insulation all the way around it, roof and floor and all the walls. And also it's going to have plumbing, electrics, a combi boiler and a composting loo. So I hope you guys will find it interesting. I'm going to be documenting the process over the next 2 months. And I can show you a few of the materials here that I've got behind me and what I've started doing already. So I'll share with you guys a bit more about the design in another video, but you can see here I've got some double doors for the front, which is going to be on the long section of the hut. Then we have the frame for the double doors. I've already started painting it with this leafy green outdoor paint. This is supposed to be one of the best paints out there for external structures, and I've got some furniture designers who work next door to me, just in the side here, and they recommended painting the wood raw before sanding it. So I've actually not sanded down the grain on this because wood is supposed to be the most porous in its raw state just after it's been freshly sawn. So I'm painting over. You can see here that you can still see the grain along there after I've painted it, and what I'm going to do is then go over it with these sanding pads, and they're basically fine grade prep sanding pads that you can get from Toolstation, but I'll put a link in the description for all the products in the video so that you can find them for yourselves anyway. And that's really good for getting around contours and surfaces. Like you can see in here, we've got this bead of wood, and also on these curved surfaces you can get nice and into all of those cracks and crevices, and you're basically just creating a key for the next layer to go on. So I'm basically going to put 2 coats, this is the first coat already, 2 coats of this paint on here, and it's already nice and smooth, and it's taken out that grain, so it's going to come out with a nice smooth finish. But I'll just show you a few other materials that I've got. I'm using rock wool for the insulation because the Celotex that I used in my apartment was actually a little bit too warm. I ended up sealing and insulating it so well that it just becomes like being in Dubai in the summer. So basically I've sort of downgraded the insulation on this project because I don't want it to overheat in the shepherd's hut, because it sometimes creates moisture around the windows. So sometimes if you over insulate somewhere and you don't allow moisture to escape and you've not vented somewhere properly, it can create moisture around the windows because it's too hot in the room. It condenses on the windows when it's cold outside. So I've downgraded the insulation a little bit. I'm also I've ordered these hardwood casement windows. These are from eBay from a really great guy called KJ Joinery. I'll share a link for that in the description so you can find them as well. They've got some really good quality windows. Actually, I'll show you them a little bit more. So you've got these sort of monkey tail black ironmongery, which are a really nice cottagey style. And I've got double glazed 28mm double glazed windows. This is an obscured one because it's going to be for the toilet window. And I've got 2 large 900 by 750 windows, and both of those are openers as well. So that's going to be for the main room and for the bedroom, so you can get some air flowing in there. And we've got some OSB board for the outside. I'm basically going to be building a timber frame made from 2x4 or 50 by 100 mil treated timber. And the actual hut itself is going to be 18 foot by 8 foot. So it's going to be pretty big. And so these are 6 meter length treated timber pieces of wood. And then I've got CLS wood for the stud work inside, because it doesn't need to be treated, although these are just for the internal walls. And then I've got treated wood for all of the uprights and noggins and stuff for the outside. And also I'm cladding the outside with oak, feather edge oak. So it's going to have a very similar look to a barn. And you can see here on the profile, feather edge is basically a sort of tapered structure. So it's one of the cheapest profiles you can get of wood because it requires the least processing. But it gives it a really nice look if you are looking for sort of a farmy, barny structure. And I'll show you because I actually work in a barn. 1 second. So it's going to have a very similar finish to this outside, but it's going to be raw oak. So we're sort of going for the farm style look, really. But yeah, I'm really excited to get started on the project. If you guys want to see more videos on installing composting loos, the building of a shepherd's hut itself, all the plumbing and electrics, I'm going to be using an LPG gas combi boiler because I think it's going to provide the best shower and hot water. It's going to be a 24 kilowatt combi boiler that's just powered by those very large tanks that you use for barbecues. Although it's not LPG gas, usually that's propane, but they're very similar bottles. So it's similar to a caravan style hookup, but I think it's going to be an interesting project. Please follow along with the journey, to stay tuned to check out some more videos, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot for watching.